Hello. I just wanted to put together this quick video to go over two things. The first is I want to make sure that you know where to find everything in the modules because about half of you didn't complete the assignments last week. So I'm actually going to reopen those so that you can submit those this week. I don't want that many of you to be missing out on that many points. So let me just turn it. I realized I can play around with this and turn this around. So hopefully you can now see my screen. So first of all, let me show you. So the second thing I do want to go through in a minute is the paper. Well, it's actually not going to be a paper anymore. But before I do that, so this is from last week. This is module 6. So hopefully by this point in the semester, you realize that you have these different modules. So what I'll be doing each week, at the top you have the lecture. So if I open this, you have your videos, and I will make sure that at the top I give you a little overview of what you need to do each week. So make sure you check here first, then you have all your videos. At the moment, I'm creating videos as I would have lectured. So, all of the PowerPoint slides, there's a video to go with it. I'm debating whether or not to maybe start finding some other videos that potentially do a really good job of explaining concepts better than I could, in which case I might share those if I find some really good videos to replace some of mine, but we'll see. For now, I'm managing to have time to keep doing those. Okay, so then you have your PowerPoint, so that if you want to print that or open it up and write notes, whatever you want to do with it, that's there. Then this is where you would look each week in each of the modules for whether or not there is an activity and whether there's homework. Most weeks there will be an activity, and it will be titled chapter 6, chapter 7, whichever chapter activity. Last week it was a discussion. Each week it might change. It will depend on what I had planned for class and how I adapt that for online. This is the one that most of you missed. It's only worth 4 points, so it's really not the end of the world. But I don't want you to miss all of these. Just be aware that they are there. These are replacing the in-class activities. The homework will be worth about 10 points roughly each time. There aren't many homework assignments, so there definitely won't be one every week. And in fact, I don't think you'll have another one now until maybe after spring break. We'll see. I need to check. As always, you will have your quiz each week, so make sure you're still doing those. So this is where you will find these. Okay, and you've obviously, as usual, got your helpful resources. So for this week, you have your lecture, you have the PowerPoint. You don't have homework this week, but there is the Chapter 7 activity here. And in fact, let me just go over this because there are two parts to this. So you will be doing the unusual uses test, which is a fairly common way of assessing creativity. So you are going to come up with a list of uses for a brick. You need to post the first part by Friday, and that will be at least 10 uses for a brick. And then you will respond to 2 other people in the class by Sunday. So I'll change. I've got the due date as Friday for now. Oh wait. Oh yeah, here we go. Sorry, I was looking at this and I was like, that's not right. Due April 5th. So is that this Friday? No, that's Sunday. Okay, sorry, I'm getting confused. Just be aware that it's the first part is due by Friday, second part by Sunday, and you must add 3 other ideas to each person's to the 2 students you respond to. Okay, so that's where everything is. And then very quickly, I want to discuss, so it says final paper because originally, or usually what I do in this class is you write a research paper. But I figured that right now you all have enough stress in your life and there's enough going on, and I want to make it as easy as possible for you this semester. So rather than a paper, if you want to write a paper, go ahead. But the alternative is to put together a PowerPoint presentation. You don't actually have to record this and verbally present it. You will just upload the PowerPoint or whatever you want to use to make your presentation. So here are your instructions. The actual instructions are exactly the same as they would be if it was a paper. The difference is you're going to do it in PowerPoint form. I figure that takes a lot of stress away because you're not worried so much about how you're writing and the kind of the format of it being an APA style paper. Obviously you need to be thorough in this, but you can do it in bullet point format. You would do it, however you would do it if you were standing up and giving a verbal presentation. So you don't want huge amounts on the slide. So you may need multiple slides to make sure that you are providing everything that it asks you to provide. You will submit that here. I don't usually, it goes through Turnitin. I don't know how that works with PowerPoint. I believe it still can go through Turnitin, so just be prepared that it most likely is going through Turnitin to check for plagiarism. Here is so you're going to be finding an empirical article, so you need to make sure that this is an article where they've actually conducted their own research. So there should be an abstract. Well, there will be an abstract, so make sure you look at that. And then you want to see that the paper has an introduction, a method section, and then their results and discussion. And that's a good indicator that it is empirical. As you will see when you look at, when you open this up, the instructions state that it does need to be a peer-reviewed article. So when you look for it, you will tick the peer-reviewed box, and it shows you how to do that, and that will make sure it only gives you peer-reviewed articles. It cannot be a meta-analysis. You don't need to know what that means at this point, but if the title anywhere or the abstract anywhere says that it's a meta-analysis, do not use that paper. If you are using the wrong type of paper, you are going to fail this assignment. Obviously, there is the plan that is due first, so I will hopefully catch it at that point and redirect you before you submit the final project. But if you're unsure, if you find an article and you're not sure if it's the right kind, I recommend emailing me and send me a PDF or a link. Ideally a PDF, because the links don't always work. And I can double check that for you. Your plan is due May 3rd, and that will basically do most of the work for you. You would just open up this document and input your answers into the document in bullet point format. Just make sure you are thoroughly answering the questions, because that's where people lose points. If you want to send me a draft and have me look over it, I'm happy to do that. But yeah, I mainly just wanted to make sure you knew where this was and just know that that's there. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay? And I think that's everything I have for this video. I did post an announcement about setting up, let me do this, about setting up Zoom meetings so that we can catch up. You obviously don't have to, that is optional, but if you do want to be part of one of those groups, then please check the announcement and let me know which group you'd like to join, and I will get that set up for next week. Okay. Hope you're all well.